like this. They're like this. They don't stress around with their cars and everything because they're using all these portables that they have around. And it's it's real beneficial.
Yeah, so, it is for people who need it and want to use it. But people like us, we like our space.
She likes her space. She likes to get in the car, blast her music, and put the windows all the way up with the AC blowing. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell because we're on the road to 100K. And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Oh, hey, welcome to Mexico City. It's your first time here? That ain't no problem.
Ain't no problem. That ain't no problem.
So it's Sunday. Absolutely everything in Mexico City is closed. There's not much to do. Even the puestecitos with the tacos that I used to distract myself are closed. So I thought it's a great time to take a walk and tell you 5 or so culture shocks that I've experienced while being in Mexico City. My first time being here was in 2019. It is now 2021, so not a lot has changed. And it's actually the only place in Mexico that I've ever visited, so it's the only thing that I know. So let's go. So this is Parque España. It's really close to Parque Mexico. And there's always a lot of stuff happening out here, like group activities. I saw baby yoga out here once. It's very green, and it's got this cool statue in the middle. Let me get closer. So this is it, and it's got a little thing of Lázaro Cárdenas in the middle, because, you know, history. Elections are on June 6th, and this guy has been every fucking where. I have to give props to his team for, like, I guess, devotedness, because literally, there is not a fucking post in this entire city that does not say Armando Rios Peter. So, the first thing I want to talk about is Chilango PDA, because I've never seen two people suck face in public like a couple of chilangos. They will just go at it in their completely, like, in their own world, not giving a fuck about if other people see, which they shouldn't. I personally have nothing against PDA. It's just that you would never see anything like that in the United States. I think people are embarrassed in the United States.
Yeah, people may be a little bit embarrassed. What you think, babe? Do you think people need to start practicing public affection a little more?
I don't know. I feel like people do kiss. Especially,
I think so.
A lot of people embrace each other. Maybe not kiss as much, but embrace each other a lot.
Yeah, I think people should definitely start to be more ownership with one another in public, especially with how things is today.
I
you might
feel
get
like,
your girl stolen or something.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Holding hands?
Yeah, we do
That's
that.
simple. You know what I'm saying? That's just...
I thought the United States do it a little bit more than others. That's what I thought.
Well, obviously.
It's safe to show that kind of affection in public. I've gotten used to it now. You know, after being here again for weeks, you kind of just get accustomed to it. But the first couple times, I was like, damn, y'all really don't give a fuck. Now, another thing I've had to get used to again since being here is just the prevalence of the informal labor market. And what I mean by that is that people do not have formal jobs where they get paid every couple of weeks, but rather, you know, people walking around selling candy, especially passing by restaurants where people are eating outside, cutting fruit. There are people that, you know, when you're at a stoplight, they'll come up with a bottle of soapy water and wash your windshield just for, like, tips.
Oh my god! What is that?
Also, the viene-vienes, which are people...
Maybe it's just, like, in places where she's from, because we deal with that a lot. Like,
yeah.
where we're from.
Facts.
People coming up, trying to do your windows. People, like, in Atlanta, I'm not going to say the name, but in Atlanta, selling of the water on the highway and everywhere. They do that. Yeah,
they do. They even ask you
have a lot
too.
of those, but I mean, it's not like, I guess maybe not as prevalent as there, but yeah.
She makes it sound as if they just hop on your car, they start wiping it down, and they expect you to give them something in return.
Yeah. Well, she said in Mexico.
Right. Well, they don't do that. They usually ask.
Yeah, they be like,
Hey, you need a car wash?
We good.
Want to clean for you? Now we straight. Just simple gestures. Now we good. You feel me?
Yeah.
That direct the parking because they go, yeah, stuff like that. And it's not like I'm coming here and having the realization like, oh, not everyone has the same type of jobs as in the United States. It's just that in the United States, a lot of those jobs would require permits. And, you know, I'm sure you've seen tons of videos online about, I don't know, informal business, especially by immigrants or people of color being shut down by police. And that's just how it is. It's very, very normal to need a permit for a lot of those type of things. Having an informal business, I guess it's just not as doable in the United States. If you're gonna have a job, if you're gonna have a business.
Okay, so in places like New Orleans and Baton Rouge, Lafayette, like the big places that I'm thinking of places I've lived in, that's there. But those are like tourist towns, so I wonder if that's why. I don't know. Maybe so, but like it's the norm. Even here where we live now in Texas, like it's the norm to see someone on the side of the road or at an intersection set up shop of vegetables or something that they sell. So,
yeah, I remember when we would be driving down the street, and this is when the summertime was in Texas, and they had this gentleman. He was selling something, watermelon per se. And one day was driving, was like, where our little buddy at? We don't see him selling today. It was tamales.
Yeah, tamales.
But sure enough, he pulled up in his car. And he set up shop, for real.
Needs to have like some sort of fixed quality or an address at least. You know, in this park especially, there's a lot of stands with people selling ice cream, with people selling fruit like mango with chamoy on it, with people selling juice, and that's very normal for people to want to make a buck in that way. And something that goes hand in hand with the informal labor market in Mexico is the prevalence and necessity of cash. I, being from the United States, got very accustomed once again to pretty much always just using cards in places or having my subscriptions renew and things like that, to where I'm never actually having to go to an ATM, take out money, pay people with money, do the math to give change and stuff like that. But I would say most times in Mexico in total, not just in Mexico City, you're gonna have to pay in cash because a lot of places they don't have card readers. A lot of informal sellers, they do not carry card readers. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it's just how it is. I think in the last 3 weeks of being here, I've gone to the ATM more than I have in the US in the past year. All the time here I'm having to pay, in coins, especially for public transport. But God, the part that I did not miss about it was doing the math. I hate doing math, I'm not a math person. So having to like add up how much I owe the person and should I use coins, should I use bills, oh no, I want to save my bill for later to pay for this thing. It does kind of make my head spin sometimes, and that's fine.
She made me think of something.
Because
now like when I started becoming like a teenager driving around, my dad would say don't carry cash on you, always just carry your card. It makes me think we're gonna have to make sure that when it comes time for our children to be out there on their own with cash or with money, we have to teach them the basics.
Well, I feel like kids are conditioned to carry money.
Yeah, because they have their wallets.
They have wallets.
So I guess we do
piggy
do
banks,
it.
tooth fairies.
Yeah.
Godparents. You know what I'm saying? They always get some type of cash put in their hands. Grandparents. So they're like in a position to be conditioned to carry money. Because I know every time I go to the store with them, they be like, hey, Dad, can I buy something? I'm like, do you have your money with you? They'll pull out a wallet. And I'm like, okay, save it.
Yeah, but that makes me not want to get them a credit card. Well, not credit card, but, debit card.
Yeah.
So early in their life, though. Because what she says it gives her a headache. But, because, like, for me, although I rarely have cash on me, like, I still will know, like, quickly how much money I need back. Because I want my money back if I was to use cash.
The change pops up on the screen for you whenever you're getting it back. For locations like a gas station, it will pop up on the screen. So
but it's just she said it frustrates her. And so that made me think, oh wait, like
I mean, if you think about
in our later teenage years, that's when it started becoming popular to just have a card. So I'm like, I don't want my children to be stressed out with just using cash if they had to use cash one day. Like, let's say if the credit card machine goes down.
Exactly.
I want them to be able to be knowledgeable of how much money they need to get back, how much money they need to give the people, how to make change, like that type of stuff.
Right. Yep. I feel that.
It's just different. And like I was just saying about public transport, the reason, one of the reasons I've been using cash so often is for public transport. And in my city in particular, in St. Augustine, we have terrible public transport. There's maybe a bus that comes every 3 hours or so. So public transport is not really a thing. I'm sure that if it was, I would be using cash a lot more. But that leads me to my next point, is that in Mexico City, there are countless ways of public transport, and that's what makes it such a convenient place.
Okay, I was gonna say, but public transport that we have, you can use a card or even your phone. But I guess she said that it's public transport in her area is bad, so she maybe don't use it as much.
3 hours?
Yeah, every 3 hours.
To visit and a convenient place to live in. I think off the top of my head, I could name like at least 10 forms of transport here. We're talking like metro, metrobus, trolebus, tren ligero, microbus, taxis, Ubers, Ecobici, Despa. I'm not even gonna lie.
I wanted to go ahead and mention, like, wherever you are right now, look into that around your area, because you always like, you may have family come over, you know what I'm saying, who may be flying in, who don't want to, who don't have a vehicle, you know what I'm saying. You can always put into play these type of acts that they have around the city, and it's really, from what I understand, it's like cheap. It's like getting on a bus, a few coins, you know what I'm saying. So.
Yeah. So public transport, that's like one of the hottest topics on our channel. Y'all be getting on us because y'all like, y'all could just use public transport if the United States made it better. We like our car, but the type of public transports that we have and that we have come in contact with, and I'm just gonna list out a few. Some places have it, some places do not.
Okay.
So we have the buses. The buses in our area come about every 45 minutes. We have a service called Zip Zone. The Zip Zone is kind of like a Uber, right? But it's like with more people in the car. It's like a rideshare service, kinda. But it goes to limited places. But each place in our area has it. We
the
have
train, the bullet. What is it called?
Bullet.
What is it called though?
I want to say Metro.
Metro. Let's go Metro.
It's a train.
Yeah, we got to. It's really fast.
We have that,
really fast.
And that connects from all around Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it goes like North Dallas. I'm not sure. What else do we have? They have a trolley in New Orleans. Of course, that's limited places, but like we have public transport. It's just not like in other places.
Right.
Like Europe.
Yeah, so if you have these type of things in your city, and let's say you're away from home, but you have company or a family member, somebody over like that, these are always options. And I'm glad she mentioned that, because I don't think people really look into this type of stuff.
Right, and I mean, there are some things that you wouldn't know that is out there unless you look for it, you know?
Right.
City in St. Augustine, when I went to the dentist a couple months ago, I had to take an Uber because we have terrible public transport and I do not have a car. So it's very refreshing to come here and have it be so simple and to have it be so cheap, because I think, if you want to get on the metro, it's 6 pesos, which is maybe like a little bit under 50 cents for a one-way. If you want to get on the trolebus, it's 4 pesos. If you want to do the ecobicis, if you have a subscription, I'm sure it's very, very cheap by the day. And I just realized that I don't stress myself out about getting around anymore, as I would in the US. Because I remember, for example, when I visited my sister in San Francisco.
Not to cut off, but I feel like other continents like this. They're like this. They don't stress around with their cars and everything, because they're using all these portables that they have around. And it's it's real beneficial.
Yeah, so. It is for people who need it and want to use it. But people like us, we like our space.
She likes her space. She likes to get in the car, blast her music, and put the windows all the way up with the AC blowing.
I like my space, period. Like, there was somebody who commented on the channel, and they were like, so you're saying you don't want to have public transport just because you don't want to speak to someone? I tried to explain. I'm like, it's our custom to speak to people, but that isn't necessarily why I don't want public transport. I'm just one of those people, I like my space.
Yeah.
What if I want to, let's say I want to go to the bank, right? I don't have to get down at the bank if I don't want to, because we have a drive-through, right? What if I want to just go out in my pajamas? I can't do that on public transport because I care about my appearance. But in my car, you won't see it. I could just put on the top and have on pajama bottoms. There's nothing y'all will say that's going to convince me to just depend on public transport, because I live in the United States and I like my car.
I feel like that's what they do for real out here. They put on like these big old jackets with their pajamas at the bottom.
Definitely.
You look.
The school pickup line. Well, no, not pickup, but drop off line in the morning. Yeah.
San Francisco in general is one of the most expensive places that I've ever been. I think one-way train passage was $8. That's 160 pesos, which, you know, compared to if you get on the metro, 6 pesos, that's a gigantic difference. This right here is another culture shock, the fact that people just cross the street without, you know, looking ever. But anyways, before I start thinking of a million other things to talk about, I'm going to end the video there. So thank you so much for watching. I know these culture shocks, they don't just relate to Mexico City. A lot of them can be applied to Mexico in general. But they might be a little bit different. They might vary between states. So if that's the case, if you live in another state of Mexico and want to give the scoop on Michoacán or Estado de Mexico, Jalisco, Tamaulipas, whatever, because I'm always trying to learn more, you know? There's always something to be learned. Someone recently called me on Twitter a Mexico boo. I'm not a fan of that, but it's fine. I'll leave my social media if you would like to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. So
go her handles right there, man. Also, go ahead and show her page some love too. Yeah, pretty interesting. Go ahead and drop in the comment section what else there's culture shocks about Mexico City that we may not know about. Yeah.
Yes, this was a nice introduction to Mexico.
Definitely.
So let us know what we should learn about Mexico, the culture, the people, the food, whatever. Right? So we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our join feature to become a VIP member of the channel. Send in your reaction requests to our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.